Alright, everybody, and welcome. I am Blazze Valkurm, and today we're going to be checking out Minicology. Now, this is one that I first heard about from Lurkit. Looked like a pretty interesting mix of Terraria, maybe Starbound, mixed with a little bit of that Factorio. Pretty interesting stuff. So we're going to take a look here. Hopefully you all enjoy, and if you do, at time of recording, there is a demo up and available. You can check my affiliate link down there in the description, and it will take you directly to the Steam page to try it out for yourself. When the game first starts out, you find ourselves crash landed on a very, very small but interesting planet. We're quickly greeted by our new little robot friend that will take us through the basic tutorials of the entire first half of your mission. You'll be able to explore the entirety of the planet. However, during the tutorial, you're going to be stuck in a semi-small area before we move on to fight some pretty interesting looking creatures. From our new robot companion, we learn some pretty basic information, including how to scan items and storing items, and of course the main goal, which is fix the ship, because we can actually take this thing into space to explore other planets after having completed the one that we're currently on. And quickly going over other planets, there are a range of different types of planets. You can actually travel in a map to different galaxies if all the planets that you have in your current system are currently completed. However, there's a dark planet. Stab the spider egg. Oh my god. Ah! There's even some planets that are fairly similar to the ones that we originally start on, maybe a little bit more green with a wide variety of creatures. Cat! Ah, kitty. You like my crab crawls? Stab the kitty. It's not a cat, it's like a cat goat. Half cat. All cute and adorable. And a ton of new bosses. As you go along, you will eventually begin to see things pop up on your screen, which are little events. Each of these little events sees us fighting a different set of creatures which drop a specific material, allowing you to make some pretty interesting pieces of gear, even upgrading your spears. Speaking of your tools and weapons, your main tool cannot be damaged. You're simply able to use this all the way across the game. Now, your secondary tool, like weapons and guns and spears and things like that, those can be damaged. If they reach 0% durability, they will be destroyed completely, unable to be repaired. I highly recommend making sure that one of the first benches that you make is the anvil. Now, this one will allow you to use materials similar to what the item is made out of in order to repair it. It's very simple. Maintain your weapons and your armor as best you can, or it's gonna be a problem. Just gonna have a bad day. In my short time of playing, I actually came across several different bosses and several different events. Each felt pretty unique and had a wide range of attacks. Make sure that before accepting some of these events that you at least attempt to gear up a little bit, maybe get some automation processes started. And speaking of automation, what we find in this game is a pretty interesting concept. What you do is you place down one of your construction pieces and you simply wire the positive to the negative, allowing you to transfer power from one machine to another. Some of these allow you to simply have infinite power to smelt down items, or even allow the machine that you're working on to automatically craft the item as opposed to you having to turn the crank by hand. And some of the items that you're going to be placing down will actually trigger events, including the one you need to finally repair your ship, and in doing so, allow you to leave the planet. Now, I did find this very last challenge for repairing your ship to be a little bit difficult. There was a learning curve. What I tried first was to simply just start the event and see what kind of creatures were spawning and attempt to fight them off. It didn't go quite according to plan, because if you don't kill them fast enough, you will get quickly overwhelmed. The next thing I attempted was building a box all the way around our structure. Now, this has the negative benefit of now the creatures can't get to your structure, and this begins the spawning process of exploding enemies, which quickly caused a problem. Can you guys get in here? You can't. Good. Oh. Well, then, that was short-lived. Our next attempt went much better. What we did was allow access to the main objective with the creatures and kind of limited the space at which they could travel. That way we could filter them, funnel them in, and it went much, much better. However, when the boss spawns, you quickly realize that the boss can fire through objects, so you're needing to be very careful, making sure that you have exits for yourself as well, and you're keeping everything guarded. After defeating a few bosses, much like Terraria or Starbound, you are able to then loot the corpse, get yourself a bunch of new materials, on top of which the chests that they're guarding have materials you're going to need in order to repair your ship, and a ton of new food items, maybe some weapons. You're definitely gonna want to take on these challenges. Just make sure you're prepared, because they're not much of a joke if you're not geared up well. The other gear material that you could possibly receive from these fights are accessories. One of the accessories that I received early on was a little one that allows you to briefly hover, which is nice because as you're hovering in the air, you are able to cross distances like lakes, spikes, and things like that. So I'm sure there's plenty more for you to unlock and discover for yourself as well. Next, you're able to, of course, build yourself a base in this game. So much like Terraria, you're able to put down basic blocks which act as barriers that you cannot walk through. However, you can in fact place down blocks that act as backdrop, which you can pass through. It's kind of nice. They even have platforms that you can place down that allow you to jump through them and stand on top of them. Very similar to other games in the genre. Really, really cool. I always find these things useful, especially for when you're making arenas for bosses and things like that. Really enjoy this type of stuff. And with that, it is time, of course, to move into the pros and cons section. Our first pro is definitely the visuals. I actually like the art style in this. I wasn't expecting to. The still images on Steam don't do it very much justice. The videos and trailers were okay on the Steam page, but actually getting to play the game and feel how the character moves, allowing you to climb walls using jetpacks, allowing you to rotate all the way around the planet. These things are really, really cool, giving the game a pretty unique feel to it, especially for a side-scroller game that has a lot of platforming elements to it. There's many ways to traverse the islands, grapple hooks and things like this that really make the visuals look a lot better in motion as opposed to the still images that you're going to see on a website. As for the cons, unfortunately in the visuals category, the game did have some frame skips, Now, these were way more present when the game first launches and loads up a new map. These do tend to die down as the game goes along. You will notice a few stutters here and there, but they're not too bad that I would call it a major issue. However, I do have to report that they're there in case some people have short tempers whenever it comes to these things. Next, I wanted to go over the audio. So the music isn't bad in this game. After hearing the soundtrack a few times, it does get a little bit repetitive. I had to turn it down some. The audio overall is a little loud whenever you first launch it, but this seems to be a reoccurring issue with indie titles in general. But you can turn these down and make it to where you would like it. So overall, not really a con, not really a pro, just worth mentioning. Definitely don't have your headphones at full blast whenever you launch the game. Our next pro is the automation. So the automation system is actually really simplistic, although you can get very intricate in with the amount of structures that you can build. You can dig down into the planet and set up crystal harvesters. You can set up power to automatically manufacture specific items for you, and you also have the option of doing everything manually if that's something that you're really interested in. On top of which, there's automations for farming, for creature harvesting, for all kinds of really cool stuff. And for anybody that's into games where you have to set up really efficient networks, you're definitely going to enjoy them. Our next pro is definitely the traversal. Now, you can hold shift and be able to climb up walls. You can jump and grab onto ledges. Of course, I had that hovering thing. There's jetpacks, there's grappling hooks. A ton of ways to get around the map. You can stand on things that you wouldn't normally think that you could stand on, like trees. You can climb up through clouds. You can go down into the core of the planet and make sure that you have a little bit of heat protection before you do that one. But there is plenty of ways to get around the map, making it feel a lot of fun just to jump around and explore. So definitely a pro for me. Definitely enjoyed my time playing this one. Thank you for the developers for giving me the opportunity to check it out, and for putting your demo out there for others to check out as well. Now, with that said, what would I give the game as far as a rating? I want to say around a 7. I'd love to give it higher, but the frame skips and just some of the clunkiness that come with the game being so early on is just something that I can't overlook, and in good conscience give it a higher rating. However, it was a ton of fun. The learning experience is very simple. The tutorials are straightforward. The developer did a great job here, and that is in fact going to do it for us here today. Thank you everybody so much for stopping out. I greatly appreciate you. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review, because we have a few more coming up very soon, and hopefully a lot more down the road. Now, remember to get down in that description, check you out all those media links. Hit that affiliate link. It will take you directly to the Steam page so you can check out the demo for yourself, and maybe even give it a wish list while you are there. Fantastic game. But until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, stay healthy out there, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, buddy.